smooth might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
It's your boy, Alpha Male God, 51 Spade, the ninja you love to hate. What's happening?
Two exciting topics tonight. The first one is nurturing the potential in your partner, but not reaping the benefits, and staying in a relationship just because the sex is good.
The bomb.
Yes. We're going to tackle the first topic tonight being nurturing the potential in your partner and not reaping the benefits. I think what inspired this actual topic is an episode of Insecure with Issa Rae. Hopefully all of us out there in the audience has caught Insecure. Great relationship topic. Sometimes we'll watch that and get topics from it, and this happens to be one. So we're going to start with Alpha Male on the topic of nurturing the potential in a partner. I think this is a big men thing because I think women get a lot of men in the stage where they just, what they could be is pretty present, not what they are.
A man thing.
I really think it is. I think it's more of a man thing. I don't think men look at women and say, she got potential. In most cases, the woman is already where she needs to be in his eyes if he's looking at her as a girlfriend.
So it's not a man thing, it's a woman thing.
I'm saying it's a man issue, being the man is the one that lacks. The man is the one that's being nurtured. His potential is being nurtured. Him, not hers. His potential is being nurtured. And then when he becomes that great guy, he's not with her anymore. That's usually the situations that happens to women, is what I'm saying. Is we are the nurturers of this potential. It's not the other way around.
So it's, I ain't gonna say that.
Not all the time.
Because I'm finna say,
I think women more.
I was finna say that's not true whatsoever. My view on it is a relationship is a relationship, and this is probably where, we'll part ways on. Like, to me, I have issues when women say shit like, I got you this, or I did this for you, or you only came up because of this. And it's like, are we tallying here, or like, are we tallying scores, or are we doing? Because I'm just like, if we're in a relationship, we is one, and that's almost if though. And just to clarify that, that's just like how you just did that, and you was like, well, it's typically from a woman's standpoint, but it's not always like that, because guess what happens to the woman when she's with the guy that's a future basketball star? She has nothing, and he's finna be a superstar.
Okay,
and hold on, hold on. It's not always that. It's but if he looked at it and just said, well, shit, you wasn't with me when I was putting that ball in the hoop. You wasn't with me when I had to grind and stay up. You wasn't with me for practice. You wasn't with me when I did all this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if he said all of those things that women do, I just look at that as like being petty. Like, if we keeping tally of a score or something like that, I'm like, why are you with me?
I think if I heard stories like the athlete that, marries his high school sweetheart, and, if I heard more, I know it happens a lot, but it happens way less than the girl who goes off to college and drags her thuggish, ruggish boyfriend off to college with her, marries him, and then she carries him. I think there are more stories about that than there are about him going off to the NFL or the NBA.
I'm not keeping.
I'm just saying.
We're not keeping again tally.
We're not. I'm just saying that you hear more stories like that, and even if you wanted to statistically do it and just say,
I don't want to though.
The houses on this street, out of all the young men that live on this street, how many guys on this street are actually going to go to the NBA or the NFL? It's going to be one or none, not two or more.
That's cool, but we're not talking about the statistics. That has nothing to do with anything of the sort. I'm just talking about you being in a relationship and why is this person saying that thing. I'm not talking about statistics or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, if you're in a relationship and we are one or we are together, when you're talking about that, you're talking about me. You know what I'm saying? It's not us. And when you're also talking about, okay, you quote unquote, like he's a child or some shit like that, like I nurtured this person, and they go to another person, well, the other person just probably ain't you. Like sometimes you could probably think that, well, I had him when he was just coming up, or he was just in his college stage, or, you know, in his early starts of practices and that. But who are you to say what this other woman is bringing to the table? Certain, just like, and I don't even, I'm just going from the perspective of a woman, and I think it can be flipped around with a man too. Some people just bring out better shit out of a human being. Sometimes just because you love a person, you might stifle that person. You might not know how to get this man to his full potential, and just because he moved on to another woman, she just might have knew how to unlock it.
Okay, so two things. Why I reference statistics, or why I did that, is because that's usually the narrative that we're either a part of or a narrative that we hear about because we have a friend going through it. So excuse me if I relate to that part of it, because I got several girlfriends. Well, that's the story that you told about the NBA player, NFL player. That didn't happen to anybody that I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all.
That's cool.
So
but that happened to people that I know.
I get it. I get it. But
so you can't tell me to flip to that side.
I can't. But I can say this. I have more friends that have that narrative than you have friends that have gone on to be NBA and NFL players and took the woman that wasn't shooting with them in the gym with them to make that even relevant. That's number one. Number two.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
Number two, we're not talking about really what another person brings out of you. What we're talking about is the time that women really invest in nurturing just the potential, not what he is, not what he could be. When you say someone has potential, that's like me going to apply for a job and not really being cut out for the job, but the guy going, I just like her attitude, and she's a fast learner, she's got great potential, and hiring me on. When he hired me on, it was a risk. Just like a woman dating a guy with potential. She's taking a risk because that potential may not ever flourish while you're with him. But yet it's taking your money, it's taking your time, it's taking your space, it's taking your whip. It's practically draining you to give because you believe this person has so much potential. Well, by the time he reaches his full potential, like I said in the beginning, he with the next bitch. And I'm not even saying that's wrong. The relationship just didn't work out. I mean, I can't really discuss what happens after. But what I can discuss is whether doing that is actually good for you or bad for you. I'm talking about the person that's doing the nurturing. Because at the end of the day, I feel like you can either look at the outcome and say, hey, I'm proud, I don't care, I don't regret it. He turned out to be a great guy and I'm happy for him and his family. Or you're going to be like me. Look back at the shit that I did and say the motherfucker didn't fucking deserve it. Wish I could take it back. There really isn't a gray area. I mean, I guess there could be, but I'm not in one. I'm all the way over here. Like, if I could rewind time, I wouldn't do all that shit. Let somebody else pay for daycare. Let somebody else pay your backed up child support. I want all that shit back based on what I thought we could be did not happen. That's buyer's remorse. I'm one of those people that have buyer's remorse. Wrong or right, I definitely have it.
I would tell you and your silly ass friends to, one, shop from a different pond. I tell people this shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna stay on narrative because you have a habit of saying, well, you know, the statistics of this and that and this and that.
I'm just telling you why.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I'm cool, but I didn't ask. But what I also want to say is this: every time I hear a woman say, "I have what you call buyer's remorse," that you paid for this person's stuff, you gave him money, you let him hold your car, you let him do all this type of shit. I would say, look at yourself and ask yourself, did you get caught up in something? Because guys do this a lot. It's a lot of times that we look at women and we'll say to ourselves, I look at this woman, sexy woman, looks real nice and this and that. But guess what? When you get a sexy woman, a lot of shit come with having that sexy woman. She's not a mediocre woman. That means she gets way more attention than an average motherfucker. So to have this woman, you also have to deal with the attention that she gonna get. So you have to ask yourself, if I choose this woman, am I gonna be able to deal with the motherfuckers that's gonna try to holler at her, the people that's gonna jump in her inbox, the sexy attire that she wear, because that's how I met her. Because if I try to change it, she gonna be like, well, this is how you met me. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I would say that same shit to women that say that shit about men, talking about, well, he didn't have potential, this, and that. He had something, whether it was dick or whatever this and that kept you there. But at the end of the day, him not having a job, or whether you picked him as a felon, or whether you picked him and he stayed with his mama, or in a one-bedroom shack, you knew all this shit. And if you didn't, you found out early enough. Hold on. You found out early enough that if you wanted to leave, you can. So if you stayed there because of that and having buyer's remorse, I don't buy no car and have that motherfucker 30 days and then try to bring it back to the lot and be like, you know what, for 30 days, it had a clickety-clack sound and the AC just didn't work and the tailpipe had smoke coming out the motherfucker. I didn't come back to no fucking, to a car dealership 30 days later, because you know what they gonna tell me? Why didn't you bring it back in the week or so that you had it? That's what they're gonna say. So, to you, and again, your silly ass friends that's sitting there talking about men that didn't have potential and then they got to the next person and they have buyer's remorse, I would say to them, buy or shop from a different pond. But you know what the problem is? The problem is they don't want to shop from that pond. They don't want the nerd motherfucker that can sit there and do the red carpet for them and roll out the red carpet. They don't want that motherfucker. You know the motherfucker that they want? The motherfucker that's bad for them. But they walk out of bed and be digmatized and all this kind of shit and be on cloud nine and steady paying bills and steady giving them money and steady doing all this shit. Now, whose fault is that really? That's your fault.
I get it, but I still want you to give the word potential a little bit more oomph.
Okay.
The reason why I want you to give it oomph is because the world that we live in. Mm-hmm. Just like a guy finding a girl that doesn't have kids. Mm-hmm. That's a damn needle in a fucking haystack.
You're
okay?
Right.
So let's flip that perspective when you have a woman out here shopping for men. Mm-hmm. The statistics are bad. We got to watch out for the down low.
Hold on. Depending on where you at.
Not true. How? Not true, because I can shop from a corporate pond. Guess what? I still gotta weed out the ones that's on coke.
I'm talking about where you. I'm talking about where you stay at. Sometimes where you stay at is a potential
thing. It's your environment. That's why I said when I was shopping from the corporate pond, it still didn't change. The narrative is still the same. I still gotta weed out the cokeheads, weed out the ones that do heroin, weed out the ones that's down low, weed out the ones that's married. It really doesn't matter. I get the concept or the context you're trying to say as to pick from a different pond, but it really doesn't matter what pond you're at. You're still gonna have to separate the bad fish from the good fish.
Yeah, but everybody
and a lot of times there's only two good fish. And what makes them good is not even where they are in life. What makes them good is their potential.
Okay.
Those two fish out of this whole pond are the only ones with potential. They're not even, so listen to what I'm saying before you interject.
Okay.
Out of that whole pond, there wasn't one fish that already had his shit together. Mm-hmm. Not one. Mm-hmm. All 20 were bad. The other 2, out of 22 fish in a pond, 20 were bad and 2 only had potential. There was no one fish that had it all. Everybody had an issue that I had to seep through. So when I get 2 people with potential, that means a lot. That's why I said I wanted you to give potential a little bit more weight now. Because this isn't, okay, by day 2, we've discovered that he got a bad habit. Or day 3, we discover something. It don't happen like that.
You don't.
It don't happen like that. And if by day 2, we find something that is not savory, trust me, that potential that made you say, okay, I'll give it a shot, is going to be more, you're going to look at that more because all the shopping you've been doing and throwing back. It's like, damn, do I really want to throw this fish back in the pond when he has this one bad habit? So you begin to look over that. And you're right. It's a cycle because bad habits will keep coming out. When we overturn one, you'll overturn others. But I just want you to give potential a little bit more weight, even with a bad habit.
P. Pump that up. Potential. Gotcha. This is my issue with it. You can have all the potential in the world, but we gonna boil this down to this. Complaining. because I don't care about all the potential, and I get all that, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, I've had girls, women I done fucked, exes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it just don't work out, I just don't complain. I don't go around saying, you know what, that bitch just wasn't that bitch was a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have no kids, ended up with 2 kids, then end up losing a house and this and that. I don't go around saying that type of shit. But you know who do go around saying a bunch of shit after you had that, man? Is women. They know when you with them, they don't know how to tear it down and break it down and make the situation better then. But when the shit in, you know what was wrong, what to say was wrong, what you didn't like.
I hate you.
And I know you do, but you know what I'm saying? I would, in my former life, I was a lawyer. I didn't tell you that. Perry Masonry. But at the end of the day, you know all this shit that was wrong. And my thing is, like, I understand what you're saying about potential. I get it. I totally get that. But what I'm saying is, that's why I said, are we keeping score? Because what I'm really saying is, like, at the end of the day, I just know how to chalk up my loss. You know what I'm saying? Just really is an overall thing, just to be like, you know what? Shit just didn't work out. I can just move on. Listen, man, like, we had a good run, and it just didn't work out. And I'm not really trying to leave this shit kind of bitter. Now, if you want to, and that's why I said when you brought up statistics, I get that a lot of time, because those statistics, yeah, they could probably be like that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But don't say, but you never see the man come out of those women that leave that NBA star, leave that rapper, leave that. You don't ever hear them saying, you know what, that bitch, like, bitch just wasn't shit, man. Like, she wasn't at home. She ain't cook. She ain't clean.
But do you know why? Do you know why?
Because
it's the same thing you said last week when we talked about men who can run 2-3 households after they leave their wife. Money and power. That's why your situation, that's why the examples you're giving aren't matching up, because they don't give a fuck. After they let her go, they're on to the next. They don't care about, you're not going to hear them complain, because now they got Becky. Samantha is yesterday.
Okay, but
of course you're not going to hear them talk about it. And they weren't struggling. Hold on, let me finish. They also weren't struggling or losing anything by helping. If you in NFL, NBA, I'm just saying, if you've done that, and you brought her with you, it's not hurting you. If you got $5 million, then $5,000 for her titties was like $5 to you. No big deal.
Sorry.
You ain't gonna see her titties later and be like, damn, man, I shouldn't have paid for her titties. You don't give a fuck. It was a scratch off. But if it was a woman who bought a dude a car, guess what? She ain't go on the lot and buy it all cash. She financed that shit. That shit's in her name. And that's why she complained about it. Because when she missed the payment, or when she had to struggle to make the payment, she felt that in her household, or her credit got affected. It's a struggle for us to help men when they in potential. Because a lot of times we ain't where we need to be first before we decide to help a nigga out. So yeah, we complain about it because we it's not a great thought. It wasn't, oh, I invested and he became great. It wasn't like that. It was, I was struggling and then I helped him out. Then he cheated on me. We have a bad story behind it. That's why you hear us talk about it fucking later. It wasn't that he was a great guy and I helped him through law school and it just didn't work out and we went our separate ways. It was some fuck shit that he did and I was struggling in the first place to help him get to where he got. That's why you hear us bitch. That's really the only thing that makes sense. It's a bad story. They left a bad taste in our mouth on the way up. That's why.
One of my favorite Ghetto Boy songs is Talking Loud. Saying nothing. Yeah.
I do not. I want to quit. Like right now, seriously, I really want to walk off.
Let me tell you something.
Like so bad.
Let me tell you something.
Did you just really like...
Hold on. Yes, I did. I'm going to tell you something. All of that stuff that you were just saying, it sounds good, like I said. It just does. But I'm going to tell you something about this. The difference since you say, like, this person don't struggle, this and that. When people lifestyle change, like that someone that comes from college that is really struggling with their girlfriend and they're coming from college and then they go to a pros, is also what come out of the woodworks is everybody. So is you being my lady when your mama need help with her car or house or payment or she's behind on something, you will come to me and say what you just said. Well, you just got that contract. It's nothing. See, when I just not too long ago watched the Aaron Hernandez thing, and even his mama was like, well, when you got that big contract, you could at least gave me $1 million. You know what I'm saying? See, that shit that you be saying, that shit sound good. But just because it's money is not the problem doesn't do anything for a man's peace and a peace of mind. Money doesn't fix everything. Matter of fact, when you get money, you start to see people around you that really ain't shit. That's just there for that. And your lady becomes no different because she might be there purely just for you. But she's going to help her mama. And if her mama, sister, brother, cousin, or anybody of the sort needs some money, they're going to say, hey, could you ask him if he can just do that? And you will. And you'll ask him that. And then he will help with no complaints, no nothing. It might come down the line later on, but he'll just do it with no complaints or anything of the sort. But for women, and I know you say, hey, you got to weed through these things and brothers on the down low and all this other type of shit.
It's true.
But you know what y'all don't include? Y'all never include the people that were potential that y'all shut down. So y'all don't put them into the equation because you never gave them a shot anyway. Y'all like what y'all like, and apparently like y'all like the heartbreak and good dick and the bad boy persona and the thuggish ruggish bone and everything else that come along with that. But guess what I just told you? The same shit that come with that shit that you like is the same shit that come with a woman that I like. If she is a 10 from head to toe, I gotta deal with the shit that come along with that. I can't just be like, you know what? I'm going to get me someone that's unattractive. She might treat me 100% better. She might. She just might. But I want a dime. Forgive me if I want a dime. Forgive me if I want a pretty face. And a lot of shit come with that. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be guys I got to fight off and people jumping in a DM and trying to fuck her and do all this type of shit. Even my homeboys that's even close to me doing all this type of shit. That's the shit that come with it. I don't sit there and complain about the shit. I just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But for y'all, it's different. I get it's the potential and this and that. And then they go, and then just to bring it again back on topic, the complaint is this. The woman says all this shit that you had from this guy, and then look at the next woman and say, well, she get to reap all the benefits of some shit that I built. Like she molded clay or some shit out of a mountain or the side of a wall or some shit like that. Like she just
Sometimes
made
we feel like that.
You feel like that.
You damn right. And we feel like
cool,
that because
and it's cool that you feel that way, but that don't make you right. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what this other woman brings to the table. Yeah, you might have did some shit, but that don't mean that it just stopped right there.
Understand that most of the time that I can only speak for me. Most of the time when I've had that thought, it was because I thought to myself, that nigga there couldn't have got her when he got me.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. When she met him, when I met him, he would have had no shot with her. Mm-hmm. That's the type of shit I think about. Like he left here fully fucking equipped to be able to bag her. Okay. That's how honest I am with myself. Okay. It's never anything negative towards her. It's that, wow, that shit got it together and he would never had a shot when he had a shot with me. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a negative reflection on thyself because you accepted less than what you deserve. He had to get right to be able to deserve that. So what is it that she has that I don't? That's how I think. And I begin to work harder on myself. I'm just a different thinker. So I can't relate to that type of response because it's never the other woman's fault. But it was like, damn, nigga, congratulations. His ass need to call me and say thank you. Because I set his ass up for a more magnificent environment, a more magnificent situation, a more magnificent woman. Because of what I helped him to gain. Because when he met me, he was walking. He was borrowing my shit. But he didn't bag her walking. Mm-hmm. Trust that.
You know, me and my lady, we like to have threesomes. I have to tell this story. It's real relevant to this, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. We met this chick, and this chick was full-blown, I'll just say lesbian. She was really into my lady, and she was like, you know, my lady talked her into being with us. She informed me that you would never have to worry about me wanting a man. I only like women. But as me and my lady continue to smash, all of a sudden, she wanted a family. All of a sudden, she wanted to get pregnant. All of a sudden, she wanted to go out and figure out, I guess, what other dicks are out here. And you know what I say? And you know what I could say? Where is my check? Because when I met your motherfucking ass, you wasn't fucking.
Like dick.
You ain't like dick. But this Dick Smith stepped right on in and changed her life. And now all of a sudden she want to get married and had a boyfriend and all kind of shit going on. Did I complain? No, because that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? Wear it on my chest.
Say it like that.
Wear it on my chest. You know what I'm saying? And that's just basically,
I can't believe you just
to sum it all up, that's all I'm saying. Like, she went there. I didn't say to her, looked at her what to do and say, congratulations. This Dick Smith sent you right. I didn't say that shit.
But you could.
I ain't say it. I could have. I could have. But I didn't.
But
that's the thing. I didn't. And that's all I'm saying. So
that's the problem you have with women. It's not the way they feel, but what they say.
There you go. There you go. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about more of this Dick Smith stuff. Dickmatism. Dick Smiths and things like that.
Gotcha.
Because it looks like sex plays a role in some of the choices that we make. Mm-hmm. We might nurture the potential of this guy because he's packing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And then we might actually stay in the relationship a little longer than we should because he's packing. So let's talk about the second subject of the night being staying in a relationship or a situationship because it's some good smashing going on. Some good dick, some good coochie, whatever, from your perspective, from mine. I'm going to say, since I'm pretty transparent, I'm going to ask myself out loud, Kana, has there been a situation that you stayed in longer than you should have because the dick was good? And that would be a yes in capital letters. Yes, yes, and yes.
And statistically, you wouldn't be the only one.
Yes. You know, and I'm going to blame this again on the world we live in. I'm going to do that a lot probably.
Okay. You blaming the world because you
man.
can't keep your coochie in your pants.
No, I got to blame the world we live in, man. It's hard out there.
Okay.
It is hard. And when you find someone who can get you off, someone that's safe. You know, I have a friend that I just became recently close with, and she has not been in a relationship for a long time. Mm-hmm. But she's a respectful woman with a career woman, a professional person. And she said, yeah, you know, I like to have sex. So I have like 2 people that are my go-to guys just to smash. Mm-hmm. You know, one is just really good in bed. Mm-hmm. He has no other potential than that. And the other one, she has been fucking such a long time. She knows they can never be together. But she's able to connect with him emotionally because it's been such a long time. Okay. So those are the 2 people that she has sex with. Mm-hmm. And I really can't judge her on that because of who she is. I know this person. Character-wise, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But she's staying in that situation because it's dangerous out there. She makes money. She don't want to get used for that. She's in nursing, so she's a health nut. She doesn't want to expose herself to any uncleanliness. Mm-hmm. So she had 2 people that she gets tested on a regular basis with, and those are the people she chose to have sex with. So I can't say, I think it just depends on how bad the situation is. Because that situation for her, I deem as a healthy situation. They're getting tested. Mm-hmm. They know each other's statuses and what they can do and what they can't do, the boundaries. They all know we're not in a relationship. Okay. That situation's healthy. But I think what you'll probably say is there are way more unhealthy situations than there are healthy.
You know, for a long time, men always get the bad rap of this shit. Mm-hmm. And you should already know what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. Every time I talk to women, they'll be like, men don't like to wear condoms. Men don't like to strap up. Every time I'm trying to fuck someone, you know, they always trying to put it in as... The fact of the matter is, women don't like to wear condoms either. That's just what it boiled down to.
We don't like it.
They don't like it, and that's how y'all end up in bad situations. I understand that you saying that this dude is safe or whatever, this and that. It's the fact that your friend is nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, she like that nasty sex. You know what I'm saying?
And she'd rather have it with...
Exactly.
Nasty sex with 2 people than boring sex with 10.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know, it's different stages of life. If that's what work out for, that's fine. But I'll flip it and say this. Sometimes I've been in scenarios where you're trying to get away from a person, and they using that sex is a trap. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a bee to honey, and they know it. You know what I'm saying? You got some women walking around here with detonators, you know what I'm saying, like in their pants, and they know they got that bomb shit, and that's how they keep us. You know, it's like every time I got one foot out the door, she say, "Well, let's just do it one more time for old time's sake." And old time's sake turn into 2 more times, that turn into 5 more times, that turn into 10 more times, and I can never fucking get away. It's just hard to do sometimes. I get that, you know, you want that sex, but I'm just saying, like, when you, like, you know what, this person just ain't good for me, and I need to get away. It's like you got to make a whole plan, you know what I'm saying, to get out. Like, you can't even be in contact. So that's why people get mad at me, because, like, when I be like, you know, I'm done with you, I got to block you on Facebook and Instagram. Like, I got to block your number on my phone, because I don't need any late night messages or anything. Because even if sometimes you get out the house and you fully way away from them, they'll just send a text and be like, "I'm horny."
Or "I miss you," or
no, it's always
"I'm
horny.
fucked for so long."
And then you be like, what do you say to that? You know what I'm saying? I'm horny. It's like, I can't even lead in with bad news or anything like that. The only thing that can probably help me is that I already bust that nut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only time I can make a smart decision. It's just like, you know what? If you ask me a question after I bust that nut, I can give you the real answer. But if I haven't bust that nut yet, I'm gonna make some real dumbass decisions that I shouldn't be doing. Driving late at night, complaining to myself like, why am I doing this? And once I get there, I remember, you know what? She's a throat goat.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just those type of things. Even for men, it's hard to just get out of those situations. And you know they bad situations for me. And because typically the ones that's crazy is the ones that got good pussy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's never the ones that are just like, you know, they just like a good girl. It's like the ones that you be like, this motherfucker is fucking crazy. Why does this bitch got good pussy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even explain it. Like, why is this happening? I just never get it.
You very rarely hear this complaint from men, and I like it. That's what makes me want to keep doing the shows, is that you hear the perspective from men, because more often than not, you're the one that's telling your girlfriend, "Girl, you need to get over that. That dick ain't everything. Sex ain't everything." And she on the line, "Girl, I know." Like, the conversation with us, there's just more conversations between women about staying in relationships because of sex versus men saying, "Damn, man, I just can't leave her. The pussy's so good." So it's really refreshing to hear you give the perspective from a man's point of view, because I have not heard it before. I haven't had, and I run with dudes. I have had yet to sit and have a drink with my homeboy, and he say, "Damn, you know what I'm saying, Kana, this bitch ain't good for me, man, but you know what I'm saying, pussy just so damn motherfucking good, she can suck dick." I haven't heard that yet, and I have got friends, but I have heard the nigga ain't shit, but god damn, that dick good. Over and over and over and over again.
Well, again, men are not vocal, and we definitely not vocal with our homeboys. So those type of conversations really don't ever come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be stuck in a situation like that going through it yourself, because if you got real homeboys, your homeboys will tell you the complete honesty. Like, man, you should have left that shit a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And they be guilty of the shit too. Like, when you watch your homeboys go through shit, they making some of the dumbass decisions that you making. So you don't want to hear nothing from them, because you be like, nigga, how
y'all doing the same
shit? You gonna tell me some shit after you stayed in that household?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to hear the ridicule, so you just like, you know what?
So you guys don't share. So
Yeah,
maybe that's why you don't hear men say it so much. It doesn't mean you're not going through it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we ain't going through it. We just don't share it amongst each other, because, like, we'll share, like, shit that after the fact that, you know, that situation already happened. But while you actually in that situation, you're not going to call your homeboy and be like, "Listen, man, I'm trying to get all my shit out this girl's house and this and that. But damn, you know, like, she keeps pulling me back in, by this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just certain things about those things that we just kind of handle by ourselves. And because we're going through stuff like this, we just don't have, I don't want to say we don't have the opportunity to do it. It's just like guys, just like with women, we just don't talk a lot about those things. And I've been in situations like that where, I done broke up with a girl and I say to myself, man, I'm not finna fuck with her. I know this girl bad for me, but I mean, the pussy was just phenomenal. Like, we just had that type of chemistry. And the same thing that you were saying about your your homegirl is like, for men, that be a thing too. It's like you can meet women that you have sex with and then you just like, okay, cool. But every once in a while, you meet the woman and she just know everything. Like, she can do shit and you're not saying anything to her. Like, she know you, you know her, y'all just gelling. It's just like an explosion, and those be the ones you can't get away from because y'all have that kind of chemistry. And believe it or not, it's like some type of unwritten rule, like, they have that loyalty because it's like even when they break up with you, they still want to fuck you. Like, look, come on, man, like, you playing around. I'm not finna go out here and fuck nobody else.
When does it become, because I think the better subject would have been, is it healthy or unhealthy? Or when does it become unhealthy? I think that's the only time it really becomes a problem if you're in an unhealthy situation. Like, maybe you're fucking this guy after you found out he was married because you just can't let him go because the dick was so good. Or he beats you up, but you can't go because the dick is so good. He's a bad person in general, but you just can't leave him alone. I think when situation turns unhealthy, I think that's more of a topic that
I think it's
should
already
be tackled. You think it's
I
already unhealthy?
I think it's already in an unhealthy state because you're trying to leave. You're trying to move on. You get what I'm saying? Now, the situation you're talking about, she's in that relationship and she's cool with, hey, I don't want to get out there. I don't want to play the field. So I have like two people that is like, I'm cool with. And I'm cool with and I'm having sex with.
Right.
But in my situation, I'm trying to get out of that situation. I was trying to get out of that situation. I was trying to remove myself from the situation. And because she knew that our chemistry was like that, she used sex as a form of manipulation and just would be like, hey, I know we broke up, but
can you just come fuck me?
Yeah, can you just come fuck me? Mm-hmm. And it would just become a pattern. And once you get back to fucking somebody, you end up back with them. And then your plans now are sidetracked because right. You're like, damn, I went from trying to leave this chick to I'm back with her.
Okay, but I think you have to know the difference between you being dickmatized and in a bad situation because the dick is good versus you thinking that you're just having makeup sex. Because you can have a real bad drag out fight, say shit that you can't take back, and then
I ain't been there.
5 hours later, you're in the throes of fucking passion.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just a breakup and me just trying to move on with my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done already set the boundaries. I'm like, hey, I'm finna move on. I don't think this is working out. And they just keeping you there. So, I've never been... I
think it's a comfort zone for both people, though. Because you wouldn't... It is. It's a comfort zone for both people. And I think that's what most of the listeners would take away from it. Because I think everybody's been there. Damn. I stayed in a situation for sex because that's where I was comfortable at. Like, there's a level of trust that you've earned over time with your spouse. And most likely, if you're still having sex with the person, you're not breaking up over sex issues. So sex isn't off the table.
It isn't. But let me elaborate like this to make it clearly of the standpoint that I'm taking it from. This particular incident that I'm talking about is like I was with this chick like 5 years. But the issue with that is I wasn't in love with her. And a lot of times, like, I could see light at the end of a tunnel and be like, you know what, I could see myself with this person, this and that. But to be with someone that long and it still looked dim, I was like, I got to cut this off. And I'm wasting years. So being with this person 5 years and I'm like, damn, I just don't love this person. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people probably be, damn, that's fucked up. You was with them 5 years and it took you that long to figure out that you don't love them. It just did. Like, I can't explain why, but I can say the sex also kept me there. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the decisions that she had made was really just pissing me off. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of the sex clouded my judgment, but then I could always see the mistakes that she made, and then I finally just hit a breaking point. It was like, I got to get away from her. But the problem was, like I said, trying to get away from her, she used sex as the weapon to reel me in. So my situation was totally different than your homegirl situation, because to me at that point in time, you're already in a bad situation.
But how is that negative? How is that negative for you if you didn't have another girlfriend and going back there wasn't abusive to you? How was keeping you there or manipulating you through sex, how was that harmful to you emotionally, mentally, financially? How were you affected?
Because I was trying to move on with my
Why?
life.
Move on where? To another person? Is there someone else for you to go lay with?
Yeah, but I wouldn't know that if this person is blocking other people from my blessing. Because
so she was blocking you from your blessing rather than you was blocking yourself from your blessing.
Hey, just because an addict has a problem don't mean that I always know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, at the end of the day, when people have like mental problems or things like that, they don't necessarily know what they're doing.
That's true.
But even with that being said, she's manipulating the situation. She don't want me to meet another person. She doesn't want me to move on to see if I can have a better...
But you just had a very profound point. How do you know that she even knows she's manipulating you? She's just comfortable. She doesn't want to go find another dick to sit. It's probably easier for you to leave her house and go find another pussy than it is for her to get on the horn and call another piece of dick that she's comfortable with to sit on.
Are we in Bizarro world?
No, we're not.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
She could have called any dick that she wanted to get.
I doubt it. If she's been with you for 5 years, fucking you for 5 years, y'all broke up. That is insane for you to think.
Now we finna play stupid?
No, we're not playing stupid. She been fucking you for 5 years.
But no, I'm answering your question of what you said. Listen to what I said and listen to what you're saying. She, which is a woman, at any potential time, right now, and I'll even give you as an example. Right now, you could pick up your phone right now and just be like, and write in the comment section of Instagram, hey, who wanna fuck? And I guarantee you that you gonna have an inbox influxed of full of shit that's in there of motherfuckers that wanna fuck. I could write that same comment and I bet you my inbox ain't gonna look nowhere close to your inbox. Not even close. And if it is, it's gonna be no bitch I wanna fuck at all. Let's just keep it 100. So for you to say that, well, she don't know what she doing, it's fucking horseshit. Sorry, not buying that. Okay? She knew what she was doing, and she knew that, hey, he got good dick. He's a dick smith. I ain't letting him go. And that's what it boiling down to. And she just wouldn't let me go.
That's not true.
That is very much true.
I'm not disagreeing in what you're saying. But I do not think... I do not think she was on some Dr. Evil. You know, let me reach out to
I'm not saying that.
And
I'm not saying
tell
that.
him I want to fuck.
I'm not saying that.
Back.
I'm not saying
that. No, she didn't do that.
I'm not saying that. But what she did know is she knew what I liked. You know what I'm saying? She knew what I liked. Again, if y'all have been watching the show, y'all should already know. That story that I tell, where that girl had that long piece of cum that was coming from her pussy, that was dripping on my knee, that was her.
But what if she watches the show and she know you talking about her?
I didn't say her name, so we all.
But how many women did that?
You'll be surprised at how many got cum drips that happen to do that from time to time. Like, some women really like giving head. There's a lot of throat goats out here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, watch what you say now. You know, they out here. You know what I'm saying? They not a white whale now. They out here. I'm just letting you know.
Something is super fucking wrong with you, bro.
But my thing is, she did know that initially was going on. So where it became that is, she got a place. And then she wanted me to move into the place. Mm. And then I was like, I don't think we should do that. And that comes with, why? Well, I don't think we should be together. You get what I'm saying? Mm. She got the place, and then it was, I'm lonely. I'm over here. Won't you come spend the night with me? It's just, she just wouldn't let go.
But but this is my rebuttal to you about she could have called anybody. Mm-hmm. She couldn't have. Or maybe she could have, but she didn't want to call just anybody. She wanted to call you. The difference in going in my inbox and writing, hey, who wants to fuck me tonight? The difference is all them motherfuckers got to come prepared with a box of Magnums. The nigga I've been fucking for
So
5
y'all don't
years
like to wear
don't.
condoms?
It's not about not wearing a condom. It's about the level of intimacy and the level of
get it.
comfortability
I get
that
it.
we have with the person that we've just broken up with.
I get it, and I understand, but that don't make it right. That's all that we're talking about here. It's a debate on whether it's right or wrong. See, the thing about it is what everything that you're saying also boils down to it was what she wanted. You know what I'm saying? It was her level of comfort. It was her that she don't want to use no box of Magnums with someone else. It was her. But what about me? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to move on, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whether it was move on to a potential person that I wanted to see or just move on for peace of mind for myself, I wanted to move on. I get that. I was trying to sever waves in a good way, and it made it bad is because I didn't do all these things that you didn't want to do when we eventually ended, we weren't cool when we ended because then she still had to go out there and find that person you saying she couldn't find and found them, and voila, there you go. Well, you could have found him a lot quicker if you just would have let me go.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's right. And you heard it here first, guys. Alpha male was actually manipulated by pussy. Hear more stories like that right here on another episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kana Lassiter.
Hey, holla at your boy, man. I'm on both platforms, 51 Spade, Twitter and IG. Hit me up, subscribe to the channel. We got merch, everything is coming out. Check on the website, alphamalegodcreations.com. Holla at me. Peace.